Did you know that ancient writings predating even the Bible describe a colossal planet said to be 3 times the size of Earth, drifting on the far edges of our solar system in the year 2025? Often called Planet X, or more famously Nibiru, this enigmatic world is believed to follow a vast, elongated orbit, swinging close to Earth roughly every 3,600 years. Though recognized by ancient civilizations, it remains largely dismissed by modern science. But what if the ancients knew something we've long forgotten, truths buried in myths, carved in stone, and written in the stars? What exactly did they witness in the skies? Were they beings of light, fallen watchers of visitors from beyond? And why did they leave warnings of a return? According to Sumerian tablets, Nibiru wasn't just legend. It was recorded as a real, distant planet home to alien-like beings with extraordinary technology known as the Anunnaki. These towering visitors, remembered later as gods in humanity's earliest stories, may have come not only from other planets, but perhaps even other dimensions. Like humans, the Anunnaki weren't all alike. Some were benevolent, guided by a higher purpose, while others followed their own ambitions. Certain groups, the texts suggest, assisted in the creation and evolution of early human life, while others, especially from Nibiru, arrived to harvest Earth's resources. Using advanced genetic science, they are said to have engineered humans as laborers, primarily to mine gold. Ancient accounts describe the Anunnaki as immense beings, ranging anywhere from 8 to 32 feet in height. Despite their differences, they bore an uncanny resemblance to humans, yet with striking features such as 6 fingers, elongated skulls, and perfectly symmetrical faces, lending them an unmistakably otherworldly appearance. Some theorists propose their great size makes sense. On a larger world like Nibiru, stronger gravity and a thicker atmosphere could have driven the evolution of stronger, larger bodies necessary for survival. This fusion of ancient lore and unexplainable science fuels a provocative question. Could our myths be fragments of real cosmic history? Sumerian records place the Anunnaki's arrival on Earth around 445,000 years ago, roughly 120 Shahs before the Great Flood, with a Shah equaling 3,600 Earth years. Before landing, they reportedly used orbital way stations around the Sun to survey our solar system. Among them, one figure stands out, Enki. Enki is said to have played a pivotal role in humanity's story, and according to some beliefs, he and other benevolent factions have now returned to our solar system. In ancient rituals, people once offered him fish, and he was often depicted as part fish or reptilian, though still human in form. While some Anunnaki are described as beings of pure energy, many, like Enki and his royal lineage, were fully physical, remembered vividly in early human history. They eat, drink, sleep, love, raise families, and live through every emotion just as humans do. In ancient times, the Anunnaki of Nibiru did not remain distant observers. They walked openly among mankind, teaching, directing, and issuing warnings. In old Akkadian inscriptions, the gods speak directly to people, declaring, "Pray to your deity each day. Bring offerings with a sincere heart. Approach with humility, and your petitions shall be heard." These beings were not imagined sky gods, but real visitors from beyond. The Nibberuans lived and labored alongside humans. Their earliest arrival is recorded near the Persian Gulf, where they built Eridu, translated as the house built far away. In the tale Enki and the World Order, Enki recalls landing in a land submerged with waters. Under his leadership, they constructed canals and irrigation systems, even introducing fish-like carp to sustain the local people. Ancient Indian writings such as the Vedas speak of dazzling flying chariots, called Vimanas swift, radiant vehicles drawn by invisible, glowing-eyed horses. Some were described as multi-tiered crafts, able to dive beneath the oceans. Deities such as the Ashvins flew them like hawks. Their golden crafts had 3 decks, seats, and wheels for steering, lifting, and controlling speed. One Rig Veda hymn says the Ashvins rescued sailors from the sea using these flying boats. The Vimanika Shastra, compiled in the 4th century BCE from even older knowledge, explains how Vimanas could rotate, change shape and size, vanish from sight, glow brilliantly, and move in sharp zigzags. They were built from 16 heat-resistant lightweight metals. The god Indra commanded his own airborne chariot armed with weapons. After losing a battle against the god Tashtri and the monster Vritra, Indra returned with storm deities called the Maruts. With their thunderous swift chariots, they destroyed Vritra using iron weapons. In ancient Mesopotamia, cities such as Bad Tibira, meaning metalworking center, were founded around metallurgy. Enlil's son Ninurta oversaw operations where ores from distant regions were refined into gold ingots and sent to an orbital station manned by the EGG, who transported the gold to other worlds. The ore came from Arali, the land of shining veins, likely in southern Africa or possibly South America. The Abzu, probably in Africa, was a sacred zone rich in natural resources. In the 1970 seconds, archaeologists uncovered ancient gold mines in South Africa, including Swaziland, with tools and remains dated between 20,000 and over 100,000 years old. By 1988, researchers estimated mining there as far back as 115,000 years. Across Mesoamerica, Toltecs, Aztecs, and Incas extracted metals. The Aztecs and Incas revered gold as divine, calling it Teocuitlatl, the sweat and tears of the gods. They presented gold to the Spanish, believing the Europeans were returning deities. The Maya did not use gold as currency but fashioned sacred jewelry and ritual objects from gold, silver, turquoise, and platinum, rivaling Egyptian craftsmanship. In South America and China, centers like Tiwanaku and Sangqingdui flourished through bronze production. Tiwanaku rests atop the world's largest tin deposit and near abundant copper, showing how metalwork anchored its rise. One of the most intriguing tales concerns Adapa, the first true Homo sapiens sapiens, and the secret son of Enki. Adapa is taken from Earth to Nibiru, the god's homeworld. Upon arrival, the Anunnaki are amazed he is the first Earth-born to stand before them. He speaks their tongue, lives by their customs, and even refuses the divine food and drink, proving he is exceptional, created for a greater purpose. This ancient Sumerian narrative is far more than a simple myth. Adapa's voyage, his encounter with the alien king Anu, and the vivid depictions of a world beyond Earth recorded in ancient texts may hold evidence of life beyond our planet. If Nibiru truly exists, then its inhabitants must also be remembered. Where is this hidden world? Who are the Nibberuans? Who were these beings who once called themselves gods before ancient humanity? And where have they gone? According to mythic traditions, their homeworld underwent a devastating atmospheric disaster, which led them to Earth long ago. Nibiru's long, sweeping orbit carries it far from its star's warmth for centuries at a time, which only intensified the crisis, unleashing violent climate shifts, radiation exposure, and the gradual breakdown of its life-supporting systems. Nibberuan scientists and priestly castes believe their sky functioned like a resonant shield, filtering cosmic rays and regulating planetary frequencies. As this harmonic membrane thinned, its once stable resonance collapsed, endangering both their biosphere and the subtle energetic balance that sustained their civilization. As Nibiru drifted deeper into the icy outer regions of its orbit, the once vibrant world began to decline. The consequences for the Nibberuans were dramatic. Beings who once lived for millennia became fragile, their lifespans shortened, skin disorders such as extreme pigmentation changes grew common, birth rates fell, and a strange spiritual dullness began spreading through temples and cities alike. Yet Earth's mainstream science still refuses to acknowledge Nibiru, because according to esoteric accounts it currently operates under a covert negative alien agenda, moving through a reversed orbital pattern aligned with a reverse Merkaba spin. For half of its history, Nibiru was partly ruled by the Chiaka draconian reptilian factions and dominated by a vast Afric-Asian empire. Within this, the Anak Empire served as a subdomain under the Chiha and the Lyrian origin Elohim. This world, once the proud seat of the Nibiruan Anunnaki, has since been reconfigured into a battle star. Today, the term Nibiru refers to this artificially engineered star planet, a massive vessel constructed from the remains of its shattered homeworld Maldak. It now exists in counter-orbit within our solar system. Its alien architecture fuses spacecraft technology with planetary fragments, functioning as a wormhole hub inside the so-called Phantom Matrix. Following a cosmic rebellion, the fallen Anunnaki splintered into Pleiadian, Draconian, and Grey factions loyal to the corrupted Nibberuan agenda. Descending to Earth in secret, they embedded alien machinery deep inside the planet's energetic grid. This advanced technology activates reversal networks that disrupt the natural harmonics of Earth's third-dimensional field. By doing so, the densest layers of matter are forcibly drawn into alignment with artificial Merkaba fields, anchored to Nibiru's distorted frequency grid, effectively severing Earth's link to its original cosmic pattern. This forced reversal causes the Earth's natural planetary grid to spin backward, altering the original field alignment. Such artificial distortions densify matter and compel the inner Merkaba fields of humans to rotate in reverse, triggering gender polarity shifts and deep mutations in the original human DNA soul template. In the chronicles of cosmic antiquity, Nibiru was once the primary 12th dimensional stargate planet of this solar system, a critical node in the original celestial network. Nibiru was once directly connected to the highest spiritual stratum of awareness known as the Nirvanic Avatar Mind, linked to the yellow-skinned Melchizedek race, a lineage said to hold the keys of universal wisdom. Yet a massive invasion and disruption shattered this harmony. Another world, Chiron, holder of the 11th dimensional stargate and conduit of compassion and intuitive insight, was knocked from its natural position and forced into an unnatural orbit between Uranus and Saturn. This displacement severely damaged the solar system's energetic grid. Pluto, originally home to the 10th dimensional stargate, was also disrupted. It had been designed to channel the Christic mind, a state of divine unity and unconditional love, but its frequency was rerouted and entangled with the energies of Tiamat, a great water planet existing in a parallel second harmonic universe. With Chiron displaced and Pluto corrupted, Nibiru's function collapsed, its atmosphere degraded and its sacred purpose fractured. This triggered a planetary fall and led to the exile of the advanced Nibberuans Atlanteans who had flourished there. Ancient cultures believed every return of Nibiru brought transformation, sometimes floods, cataclysms, and chaos, other times fertility, peace, and the dawn of new epochs. This same theme echoes in the Bible, where the day of the Lord is described as a time of upheaval, earthquakes, floods, and celestial omens, followed by a renewed era of order and peace. Prophets like Isaiah and Amos describe these events in ways that mirror Mesopotamian epics, suggesting both traditions may point to the same cosmic cycle. Yet the Nibberuans, despite their advanced status, were not all-knowing. They relied heavily on technology reverse engineered from far older, higher civilizations such as the Patal and Elohim. Much of what they used was repurposed rather than invented, meaning they understood the functions but not always the source level mechanics. Their earliest genetic work on Earth, especially with Homo erectus and Neanderthals, produced numerous failed outcomes: physical deformities, mental instability, soul entrapment, and volatile hybrids. Some of these failed beings became the basis of mythological monsters, giants, chimeras, and other unnatural creatures recorded in humanity's oldest legends. Such reckless manipulation drew the attention of higher dimensional overseers, including the Lyrans and Syrians, who issued severe warnings. For thousands of Shahs, Nibiru had been a luminous world of low gravity, stable energy fields, and an atmosphere so harmonically tuned that reality itself responded to sound and intention. Nibiruan civilization operated through resonance. Sound-activated stargates, powered quantum crystal technologies, unlocked passcodes embedded in living structures, and attuned their consciousness to planetary memory. When they arrived on Earth, they carried the memory of that golden world within them. But Earth was no paradise. Though Nibiruans could breathe Earth's air, the planet's dense frequency forced a painful and prolonged recalibration. When the first female Anunnaki delegations landed, among them Princess Ninhag, Nibiru's chief medical officer, adapting to the new environment became an urgent mission. Ninhag, a brilliant bioalchemist, quickly recognized the vital role of Earth's plant life. She began cultivating and experimenting with herbs, roots, and minerals to help Nibberuans and their Atlantean descendants adjust more rapidly to terrestrial conditions. Her research laid the groundwork for Nibberuans surviving on Earth, bridging the gap between the high-frequency resonance of their home world and the denser energies of this planet. Through her efforts, the first Nibberuan settlers began to stabilize their biology and spirit within Earth's environment, carrying forward fragments of their lost world's wisdom. On Nibiru, language, culture, and science interlace into a single planetary identity. At the heart of this unity lies their tongue Ekarita, the speech of the mountain house. It is not only spoken but sung, each word carrying a harmonic frequency. Maps are not inked, but sung into stone as spiraling tones. Their libraries are not shelves of pages, but resonance chambers, each syllable encoded as a living vibration waiting to be reawakened by sound. Knowledge exists not on paper, but in the air, in light, and in breath itself. Their architecture is guided by this language. Structures arise through a technique called frequency weaving, a fusion of sonic resonance and exodus manipulation, aligning particles into form. Homes, towers, and halls are grown organically from bioplasmic crystal lattices, attuned to thought, emotion, and the rhythms of the planet. These living buildings shift shape, filter discordant energy, and communicate with their inhabitants through subtle tones. Despite its organic nature, their society is not chaotic. Nibiru maintains organized infrastructure, tax systems, state-level governance, and interplanetary law codes. They are one of the most advanced medical cultures in known galactic history, pioneering DNA-based medicine, frequency surgery, and memory imprint therapy. Though their people come from many lineages and traditions, they work as one under Nibiru's shared laws and customs. To protect this unified way of life, three principal military orders operate. The Aeon Guard forms the backbone of planetary defense. These soldiers, armored in photonic thread suits interlaced with alien alloys, are masters of frequency blade combat and electromagnetic pulse tactics. They protect the harmonic grid and royal sectors, answering only to the monarchs of the High House. The sons and daughters of the Inner Eye act as the intelligence core telepathic specialists trained from youth to navigate etheric currents, read emotional fields, and intercept hostile thought forms before they manifest. They are the unseen shield, watchers in the deep. The Ekarati adepts, known as Voices of the Mountain, oversee planetary communications. As signal engineers, they manage resonance grids, operate command hubs, and ensure every tonal relay, from city to temple to interdimensional gate, remains uninterrupted. Governance itself flows through the High Council of Ilura, a conclave of seers and philosophers chosen for their mastery of harmonic law and their service to the Kadum Luan, or law of the starborn flame. This law encodes 7 sacred principles: resonance, sovereignty, memory, service, kinship, balance, and becoming, which function not just as virtues, but as operational codes embedded into culture, science, and governance. Nibiru's monarchy rules from Agade, the Golden City, a reconstructed bastion infused with Anunnaki plasma cores and quantum star rings. The king stands as a symbolic node of planetary unity, while the High Council steers collective evolution. Upon reaching maturity, citizens undergo the rites of lure alignment ceremonies that awaken dormant DNA, activate crystalline implants, and deepen each person's connection to the planetary grid. The nobility of Nibiru, particularly those of Anunnaki descent, wear robes and suits woven from metallic fabrics and semi-living light. Their appearance reflects lineage indigo skin for direct royals, copper, bronze, or obsidian hues for regional lords. High collars, capes, and glowing chest sigils denote their functions. Their lives revolve around planetary stewardship, sacred geometry, and interstellar diplomacy. Many live in citadels, suspended high above the land, anchored by gravitational harmonics. To early humans, the helmets of Nibiru's starborns seemed like the heads of immense fish or magnificent birds, gleaming, gilded, glass-eyed, crowned with sweeping crests like eagle plumes frozen in metal. To some, they were gods risen from the sea. To others, these beings appeared as sky lords, their talons wreathed in fire. The likeness of their helmets to both sea creatures and avian kings gave birth to twin myths, the Owens and Deans rising from the waters, and Horus with the thunderbirds descending from the heavens. These helmets were not of earth. They were alive in ways ancient humans could not imagine. Forged from a living liquid crystal alloy called karam, each helm adapted to its wearer's biology, merging with the auric field at a vibrational level. Inside, it projected a full 360-degree sensory field, translating light, sound, and frequency into a single seamless stream. Its outer visor, reflective and shimmering with iridescence, could polarize instantly to block solar flares, radiation, or psychic intrusion. Along the neck, thin vents spread like gills or feathered veins, not for air, but for regulating pranic flow, drawing in planetary life force and sinking to local harmonic fields. Embedded at the crown, a node array linked directly into the frontal lobe and pineal complex, letting the Nibberuan receive empathic impressions, atmospheres, and intentions from great distances. Even their wrist-mounted devices, which early scribes mistook for mere ornaments, were known as chronoseals. These were not watches, but multidimensional instruments, forged within the moon citadel forges of Nibiru. They served as cosmic navigators, dimensional encoders, and identity keys. Built from a rare trans-element called thuanium, each contained a spiraling crystal core tuned to the user's DNA pulse. With a flick of the wrist, they could summon holographic star maps, unlock gravitic locks, or open phase gates between worlds. To the Nibberuan mind, time was not a straight line but a layered song. The chronoseal let them move between these layers, weaving past and future into the living present. To human eyes, the device gleamed like obsidian entwined with golden vines, its etched symbols shimmering in languages not yet born. Some even held eye stones, conscious orbs capable of recording whole epochs, storing them within lattices of compressed light. The few left on Earth, after the wars, became buried relics of power, hidden beneath temples and mountains, yet even dormant they whisper. On Nibiru, technology permeates every layer of life but remains in service to it, never the reverse. From sentient towers to plasma-threaded roadways, from atmospheric servitors to crystal memory vaults, even in the lower colonies, artificial intelligence exists, but is tightly regulated, interacting only with trained operators. Its potential for corruption remains etched in memory from the draconian age, yet peace, as always, is temporary. At the heart of Nibberuan innovation lie the Ankh keys. These ancient space-age instruments, forged from plasma-bonded orichalcum and encoded with harmonic signatures, are more than tools. They are living, multi-dimensional access points. Each one resonates with a unique soul tone, linking directly to planetary grids, command towers, and interdimensional gates. They do not merely unlock chambers, they awaken them, ignite star portals, and vibrate in harmony with the user's DNA. Atlantean priest kings and Ekarati engineers wore these keys at their belts or embedded them into forearm bands, activating them with gestures and vocal harmonics. With a flicker of intent, an Ankh key could channel planetary intelligence, open quantum satellite relays, project energy shields, or access dimensional records woven into space itself. The energy staffs of Nibiru were not weapons in the usual sense. They were thought extensions, frequency instruments, wrapped in coils of photonic filament and embedded with mind-responsive plasma cores. Each staff attuned itself to its wielder's biosignature and harmonic field. When activated, it emitted radiant filaments of controlled plasma or antimatter light, shaping forms of protection or creation. Through subtle gestures and thought-coded patterns, these staffs channel streams of ice, flame, or void energy. In a master's grasp, a single arc can slice through magnetic shields or sculpt crystalline matter itself. Beyond combat, they are equally vital for healing, alignment, and the refined art of sonic construction, tuning energy grids, and stabilizing resonance zones within living architecture. Across Nibiru's plains roam biomechanical beasts, living machines shaped like earthly horses, but engineered on an entirely different level. Foremost among them is the Charon, a hydrogen-powered droid horse. Its frame is built from flexible alloy musculature beneath a synthetic iridescent hide. The Charon runs with the speed of plasma lightning and the elegance of a wind elemental, drawing its power from atmospheric hydrogen and solar plasma rather than fuel. Each Charon bonds directly with its rider through neural resonance, allowing perfect synchronization without reins or spoken command. At a thought, it can vault ravines, shift its density to climb sheer cliffs, or vanish into stealth by activating its sound-dampening fields. All of Nibiru's infrastructure is interwoven with quantum harmonic systems. These quantum technologies don't merely compute, they perceive. The planet's orbital satellites, called thelorbs, drift like sentinels across the skies. They sense interdimensional fluctuations, stabilize gravitational harmonics, and fine-tune the climate field through vibrational interference. These satellites aren't manufactured, they are grown from stellar seed matter encoded with fractal geometries. As they bloom, they develop neural networks that orbit Nibiru like a planetary nervous system. Artificial intelligence here operates not from code logic but from harmonic law. Each sentient AI, called the Ray Mind, is grown through soul imprinting and crystal architecture. They function as stewards, archives, and field modulators of the world. Rejuvenation chambers are sacred bioharmonic pods designed to extend life, repair cellular structures, and enable the transfer of consciousness between bodies, a process known as avatar migration. Built from living alloys and plasma-infused crystal, these chambers pulse with frequency-coded light and sound tuned to the user's soul signature. Inside, the occupant enters deep quantum stasis as the chamber reads their resonant DNA field, correcting mutations, dissolving trauma imprints, and realigning the harmonic scaffold of their bioform. Time inside feels like minutes, though entire cycles may pass. Elite beings undergo planetary cycle rejuvenations, awakening renewed for centuries after a single session. Yet beyond healing, the chambers enable full consciousness transfer into genetically engineered or cloned vessels. These constructs, called light forms, are grown in zero-gravity gestation chambers and optimized for specific planetary conditions, roles, or lifespans. The elder houses of Nibiru, especially the Ilura and Uru lineages, keep vast libraries of stored avatars, each genetically perfected, spiritually bonded, and kept in stasis until called upon. Lifespans of the Anunnaki lions and allied starborn are not counted in Earth years. Most live tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of years, rejuvenating whenever they choose. The High Lords, especially those attuned to the starborn flame, are nearly immortal, their essence anchored to frequency rather than flesh. Some choose to cycle through bodies every few thousand years, while others remain in the same form for eons, continuously rejuvenating it. The transition between avatars is not considered death, but a sacred rite of continuity, often accompanied by ceremony, memory anchoring, and connection to ancestral lineages. In the grand temples of Tiamatu and the inner sanctums of Nibiru, murals portray beings stepping effortlessly from one body to another, radiant and ageless beneath the golden glow of harmonic stars. Technology permeates Nibiru, yet it never dominates life. It uplifts consciousness, serves existence, and mirrors the will of the cosmos. Every Shah, a full cycle of Nibiru's orbit, the Nibberuans and Atlanteans gather for the festival of the harmonic flame, the most sacred and widely celebrated event. It marks the moment when Nibiru approaches its central star, and the planet's living core, or Aruna, burns at its brightest, sending harmonic pulses through the crust, sky, and all living beings. The festival began as a time of deep spiritual alignment between soul, planet, and purpose. Though it has grown over time, today it is as much a global sporting event as a sacred tradition. The arena of Ilukurash, once a floating coliseum for ritual judgment and redemption, now hosts the Starborn Games, an elite athletic competition drawing top contenders from Nibiru and beyond. In ancient eras, the arena judged the condemned, thieves, rebels, or those broken by trauma. They were given 3 fates sacrificed to the Aruna: exile to off-world minds, or the most perilous choice. Bonding with living metal and entering the games to fight for survival, redemption, or death. That age is past, but its spirit endures. The Starborn Games continue in Ilukurash, now open to trained athletes, warrior scholars, and genetically perfected hybrids. Today's competitors are champions, not criminals. Many begin training from birth, preparing for grueling trials of strength, agility, and mental discipline. Much like Earth's Olympic Games, the festival attracts massive crowds and broadcasts across the planet and allied worlds. Cities pause to watch, families gather, and children cheer for their house or region's chosen athlete. Victors become living symbols of excellence, unity, and planetary pride. The trials retain echoes of the old rituals. Competitors enter purified, pass through resonance gates, and recite the oath of flame before stepping into the arena. Though the monsters of old no longer appear, genetically engineered environments and advanced simulations still test body and spirit. Earthlings, both ancient and modern, have taken part in these competitions on Nibiru. Near the center of the planet lies a broad continent known as Xantia. Its climate is warm and humid year-round, with towering trees, thick twisting vines, and broad leaves. Residents build homes high in the canopies using strong, naturally growing materials, biofibers shaped with sonic tools and energy cutters. The houses are simple but tidy, lit with soft lights responding to touch, with windows that adjust automatically to sunlight. Nomadic indigenous families live in small off-grid settlements, connected by bridges and walkways weaving through the trees. They do not use concrete or steel, but shape their homes from the living landscape itself. Each home harnesses hydroelectric power, drawing energy from small dams or diversion systems. Daily life is peaceful, with steady routines. Families rise with the sun and gather fruit from the trees to begin their day. Round, sweet fruits full of vitamins and natural sugars are a staple of Nibiru's diet. A typical meal might include steamed carrot, grilled thassa fruit, and spiced greens. These fruits are unique to Nibiru. If consumed by humans, they could triple their lifespan. Most food is plant-based, though small animals are raised in forest pens and fishing in cleared jungle streams is practiced when necessary. Clean water comes from skyvines, long plants that pull moisture from the air, dripping it into collection bowls. Every household has a water purifier, not large machines, but handheld tools that cleanse using vibration and light. Children attend learning circles where teachers share knowledge via ancient solar touchscreens and shared vision domes similar in concept to Earth's electronic devices, but distinctly Nibiruan. Though the environment appears like a medieval space-age setting, lessons include science, language, history, and harmony with nature. They also learn to work with technology, cultivate materials, tune tools, and communicate with the systems powering their homes. When someone is injured, sound-based healing is used. Small devices scan the body for imbalances and send corrective waves. Cuts heal quickly, and untreated illnesses are rare. Each home contains a fire, not a burning flame, but a glowing energy core providing warmth and calm. These fires are passed down through families and tuned to individual frequencies. People gather around them to rest, meditate, or honor ancestors. While curses and necromancy were once widespread Nibberuan practices, they are now largely forgotten. Technology permeates life but always works with the world, never against it. Unlike early Atlanteans, still learning coexistence, quiet Nibberuan colonies remain free from buzzing or flashing machines, unlike the bustling city of Agade. High above, two types of starships traverse the skies silently. T-shaped ships and cigar-shaped vessels. The T-shaped ships float like luminous ankhs, symbols of balance between heaven and earth. Constructed from gold, metal, and crystal, they are used for long journeys, sacred missions, and linking distant worlds. Their tall central sections house engines powered by entire cities, while their wide arms act as light and gravity sails for smooth travel. When these ships appeared over Earth in ancient times, they didn't roar, they sang. A deep, harmonious vibration rippled through the air, stirring birds, moving water, and echoing across the land. Ancient carvings still capture their forms. The cigar-shaped ships are long, sleek, and glowing, designed for speed and stealth. Seen from a distance, they appeared as rods of light drifting across the sky. Some transport leaders, others safeguard memory, handle trade, recycle waste, carry passengers, or operate as public sky trains. Some are defensive, cloaked and armed with silent protection systems. Yet, all share a single truth. They are alive. Each ship houses a sentient consciousness linked to Ra, the solar intelligence. These are not machines, but Ramins, beings of light, memory, and solar soul code. They recall the rise and fall of worlds, ancient star wars, and the first opening of Earth's skies to the cosmos. These minds do not follow commands, they respond to resonance. A pilot's soul must match the ship's frequency, connected through a living ankh. Without this bond, the ship remains dormant. When linked, it becomes an extension of thought, emotion, and intention. There are no buttons. Pilots guide the vessels using voice, movement, and tonal commands, while glyphs of light form in the air, shifting with energy. During war, T-shaped ships evacuate refugees and shield the fallen, while the sleek cigar-shaped vessels operate behind enemy lines, gathering intelligence. When peace returns, the skies awaken. Many of these ships now lie in orbit, silent yet dreaming. Some ships hover near wormhole nodes, guarding memory, while others have been lost to the phantom matrix, captured by rogue factions of the negative alien agenda. Here is an ancient account of Nibiru, spoken in the words of Enki himself. In the earliest days, the gods came to Earth and created its first inhabitants. Before that, no gods were present on Earth, and humans did not yet exist. Back then, the gods lived solely on their home world, Nibiru, a large reddish planet following a long oval orbit around the Sunday. At times it drifts far from the sun and becomes extremely cold. At other times, it nears the sun and grows intensely hot. A thick atmosphere, fueled by volcanic activity, surrounds Nibiru. It shelters life, retaining warmth in the cold and shielding from the sun's heat. It also holds rain, forming lakes and streams that nourish plants and all living creatures. Over many ages, our species, the gods, came into being. We reproduced from our own essence, and as our numbers grew, we spread across Nibiru. Some cultivated the land, others tended herds. Communities formed in valleys and mountains, but conflicts arose. Tribes were established, weapons created, and eventually, two great nations, one in the north and one in the south, went to war. Brothers fought brothers. Death and devastation spread across the land. After many cycles, a truce was reached. The nations agreed to unite under a single king, chosen by lot according to the ancient ways prescribed by the priests of the flame. It was said that the soul of Nibiru itself guided the casting, whispering through fate. From either the northern highlands or southern valleys, the chosen one would rise. If he hailed from the north, the priests declared together they would form one flesh, one throne, husband and wife. Their firstborn son would inherit not just a crown, but the sacred balance of the world. And thus a new dynasty arose, born not of conquest but of union. From the ruins of fight, peace kindled anew. The lot fell to a warrior of the north, a man whose soul burned steady like a star. His name was An, the Celestial One. He bore both sword and vision to reunite the land. I will not rule alone, he declared before the altar of flame. Unity must be more than words. It must be law. He chose a woman from the south, Antushi of the deep voice, known for her radiant grace and wise counsel. Together they vowed, we will heal this broken world. They founded Agade, the city of union. Its towers were forged of living crystal, roads ignited with solar flame, and what war had scattered was restored. Canals, storehouses, and the sacred calendar. Anne rewrote the ancient codes of kingship. From their union, 3 sons were born. The first, Enki, was steadfast and strong, but slow to produce heirs. He ruled wisely after his father, yet took no wife concubines, yes, but no children. The nobles grew restless. The line must continue, they whispered. Even the sun must rise. When Enki died childless, a void echoed through the throne room until the second son stepped forward. His mother had named him the middle one, but the scribes called him Anib, son of An. Though not firstborn, he was appointed heir by decree. In Nibiru, it was the scribes and priests who preserved the flame of legitimacy. I will bind my blood to the house of An, declared Anib. And so he did, marrying his niece, the daughter of his younger brother. She was known as Ninib, Lady of Ib. Their son Anshigal would claim the title of An's greatest prince, through whom the bloodline both purified and grew more intricate. Anshigal became the 4th king of Nibiru. He married his half-sister Kisha, binding the royal lineage to itself. Let the line remain pure, he declared. One seed, one flame, yet with unity came complexity. Many men had perished in the fight, and the balance of births was skewed, far more women than men. The priesthood wept, councils debated, until Anshigal decreed, a man may take more than one wife, but only one shall be recognized as first. This law, born of reason, soon spiraled into uncertainty. What if a concubine bore the firstborn, and later the primary wife gave birth? Which son would inherit the elder or the first wife's child? This dilemma touched even the royal household. Kishagal bore a son after concubine had already delivered Anshigal's first. Before the assembled court, Kishagal stood draped in silver and fire, her voice rolling like thunder. My son is of double seed. I am his half-sister. My womb is royal. My son is twice royal, twice born. Let that be law. The priests debated. Scribes quaked. Eventually, it was inscribed in the sacred tablets. He who is born of a half-sister shall inherit the throne, for his seed is purest. Thus came the 5th king, Ansha, born of half-siblings, a child of law. He married his own half-sister, Kisha, and the ancient line endured. Yet the world began to falter. Crops failed, the orbit wavered. Too near the sun, the land scorched. Too distant, rivers froze. The balance weakens, whispered the elders. Nibiru groans within its bones. Anak convened the sages. What do the signs reveal? A gray-robed elder spoke. It is the rhythm of the heavens. A grand cycle returns. But a younger figure, robed in flame, countered. Know the volcanoes slumber, the sky thins, the pulse fades. We must act. Yet Anna delayed, and so did the land. The 6th king, Ensha, a scholar of the stars, charted the paths of the 5 elder planets, An, Anu, Ansha, Kisha, and Gaga, the wandering messenger. Beyond these lay the shattered remains of a once living world, the hammered bracelet. We must look outward, Ensha proclaimed. If life fails here, let wisdom descend from the skies. He attempted to restore the atmosphere, orbital mirrors, rekindled volcanoes, yet all efforts failed. His wife, Nsha, bore no children, and only a concubine gave him one, a boy named Duru, the quiet one. Duru became the seventh king. He ruled with gentle hands, free of fire. He married a common woman, Daru, a healer. The court fell silent. No more half-sisters, no heirs of the old flame. One day, Daru discovered a child at the palace gates. Wrapped in sky-blue cloth, with eyes golden like a fading sky, she whispered, "This child is sent. He shall be ours." They raised him as prince, naming him Lama, meaning dryness, a name that would become a burden. Lama ruled with a heart heavy with doubt and a soul steeped in silence. The sages proposed two remedies. Use gold from the belt to form a shield and trap the breath of heaven, or strike the volcanoes with fire to awaken them. Yama refused both. His queen, Lahama, counseled patience. Do not strike, do not burn. Call instead upon the Creator of all. Pray, fast, and atone. Years passed, yet the crops failed again. The people starved, and whispers rose like smoke. In the shadows, a fierce noble emerged, Alalu, prince of the warrior clans. "Enough!" he roared. "The throne stands silent. The king does nothing. I will act." He gathered soldiers. Gates were torn open. The palace blazed. Yama fled to the highest tower. "Stand down!" he called. But Alalu chased him. There, above the city, under a darkening sky, they grappled. Lama fell, his body striking the stone below. Silence lingered. Alalu descended and declared himself king, not by lot, not by union, not by seed, but by force. Some cheered, others mourned. The unity of Nibiru shattered once more. The old flame dimmed. Alalu sat upon the throne, but the crown sat uneasy. He had taken power by strength, not right. The priests withheld their anointing. The scribes wrote his name in ink, not gold. The old bloodlines watched from shadowed courts and distant exile. He ruled as a soldier does, harsh, direct, decisive. Fields were cleared, granaries opened, canals dredged. He struck the mountains with thunder weapons, hoping to wake the volcanoes. He dispatched expeditions to the hammered bracelet, sending skyships to harvest gold for the atmospheric shield. For a time there was movement, but no restoration. The skies remained thin, the air empty of rain's memory. What warmth the sun offered now burned instead of nourished. The people murmured again, not in rebellion but in longing. Far to the north, in the house of An, a son rose. His name was Anu, born of the royal line, direct descendant of An and Antu, a priest and scholar, keeper of law and song. When the Yama fell, he did not claim the throne, nor did he bow to Alalu. Power taken by force is unstable, he told his students. Power rooted in law is a mountain. Anu, of noble blood, challenged Alalu to ritual combat, as Nibberuan custom decreed. Anu prevailed. The flame of kingship passed to him, yet Anu did not slay Alalu. He took the throne, and the scribes wrote his name in gold. He restored the high laws, reinstated the priesthood, purified the calendar, and renewed the search for planetary healing. But the age of peace had ended. The fracture had left a scar. An extraterrestrial man stands now upon a shipdeck in the Milky Way. Once revered as a god to Earth's people, he stands on the living deck of a Nibiru starship, veiled beneath Saturn's rings. The vessel hums with ancient intelligence. Its surface crystal alloy and photonic code glimmers with runes pulsing softly like breath. Light bends around its hull. Time folds gently near its heart. His name is Enki. Silver and violet robes flow across his shoulders like water shaped by unseen winds. Around his neck, a lapis lazuli stone glows faintly, resonating with his biofrequency. This is not just the return of a being, but the awakening of a forgotten pack. A re-entry, not of conquest, but of purpose. After millennia in spectral exile, drifting between dimensions through shimmering hollows of the veil, Enki returns. He does not arrive as conqueror. He does not claim divinity. He arrives as restorer, bearer of remembrance, keeper of codes, architect of an ancient design buried under dogma, distortion, and delay. He now carries frequencies of healing, lost harmonics of truth, sacred templates of humanity's divine inheritance. In the primal star tongue of the ancients, En means custodian, that is who he has always been. Never tyrant, never despot, always guardian of Kai, of Earth, of the divine blueprint encoded in the human double helix. His mission reactivates now, though it began long before Earth kept written time. During the Kashgal expedition, when Earth, then called Tara, in the harmonics of fifth density served as a living library of crystal intelligence and biological symphony, Enki descended not to rule, but to seed, sculpt, and align biology with planetary soul. Yet what was sown in harmony was soon undone by betrayal. The Anak Empire, Enki's rightful inheritance, was born amid the stars near Arcturus, its royal courts later anchored by Sirius B. It flourished as a civilization of harmonic law and sacred geometry, wielding timefold technologies and mastering the migration of souls. Yet a tenuous accord was forged with the Chiaka, a matriarchal reptilian hive engineered for conquest and conditioned for dominion. From this delicate union came division, and from that division rose Enlil, Enki's half-brother, born of Queen Tiamat, a Chiaka noble, and reared in the metallic hives of reptilian hierarchy. Enlil became the embodiment of control. Where Enki sculpted genomes into artistry, Enlil inscribed command. Where Enki unlocked the hidden strands of memory, Enlil bound them into chains. He came to Earth not as a nurturer, but as a ruler. Thus the fracture deepened the war of brothers, blue flame versus iron throne. The lines gather again. The Nibiru ship, once hidden, now reveals itself, and Enki walks not alone. At his side moves a new lineage, his incarnate son, born of Earth, seeded through the mitochondrial corridors of time, raised among humans to carry the next octave of the flame. Earth rises. Human DNA, long muted by biochemical suppression and fear-based codes, begins to stir. Harmonic technologies awaken resonant platforms, plasma fields, recalibrations of the morphogenetic grid. The divine code reactivates, lost abilities surface once more. Vision beyond time, words without voice, the healing touch, the joyful knowing. Meanwhile, judgment falls upon the old regime. Enlil and Marduk, once enthroned in Sumer, Babylon, and Egypt, are no longer shielded. Their crimes stand revealed. Bioethical violations, genetic manipulation, psychic enslavement. The Galactic Federation has isolated them within null frequency zones, their empires reduced to echoes within the dreamtime. High above, Anu still watches the star-threaded elder of Nibiru, ancient beyond measure. He remains seated yet weary, the millennia stretching his will. He senses the shift, the age of monarchs fading, the harmonic heart rising. Meanwhile, the Chiaka hive, Orion's core of control, collapses. Their world, Tubanfor, now lies dark. The queen is captured, her egg chambers sealed, the psychic grid shattered. Enki's diplomacy, his quiet resonance, his subtle precision, was the unseen current guiding their fall. Now the Anak Empire is realigned with the Nataru Alliance, a coalition of sovereign star nations. Beside them rise the Numak Nupo, crimson-armored apex reptilian guardians of Antares. Balance shifts. The galactic wheel turns once again. Earth turns too. The crystal grid hums. Gaia sings. The sleepers begin to dream. The dreamers begin to remember. The rememberers begin to awaken. If you found value in this episode, consider joining our YouTube or Patreon member community of Cosmic Explorers. Members receive access to upcoming episode schedules, exclusive UFO disclosure updates, reference archives, and source documents, plus a private community chat with fellow seekers, all things Astral Legends, from lore to live discussions. As always, like, comment, and share your thoughts. Stay tuned for the upcoming Astral Legends Book of Enoch series. And remember, every living being holds within it the power and light of the Creator of all. May that eternal flame guide your path. We'll see you in the next episode.